Hi everybody, it's Kris here from the Gallowgateshots YouTube channel. Just to let you know, as always, this podcast is now part of the 90-Minute Football Network and proudly sponsored by www.pt-4-u.co.uk. Enjoy the episode. Hi everybody, welcome back to the Gallowgateshots YouTube channel for yet another match preview. But I was going to say, as you can see, you might not be able to see Roger right now because he's just a blurred out image like on a bad CCTV recording. But he's here with us. How are you, Roger?
Apparently my connection's unstable, which is probably sums
Like
up
your life.
like my life at the moment. So yes. Hi everybody. If you can see us, if I'm pixelated, it probably benefits everybody. But yes, I'm good. Thank you. Really good. Buzzing after the game on Sunday, and excited to see the game tomorrow night. So yeah, good. Thank you.
Yeah. Also joined by Scott and from Iain, who are now regulars of match previews. I think you two have been in the last 3 or 4 now. And it's been a good run since we've been doing these match previews. So we're going to stick with you two as well. I'm going to come straight to you, Roger, because I haven't really spoke to you recently about Newcastle and all things football related. How are you feeling right now as a Newcastle fan? Unlike your life, how you said, it's a little bit unstable, just like your connection. Is Newcastle's Premier League status, is that stable?
Yeah, I mean, I thought a game ago after the Wolves game, I think we were safe after that game because very much like when the seasons we've gone down, it's difficult to start winning games when you losing's been a habit for so much of the season. You can't expect Burnley to turn around enough games to catch us. They might turn around enough games to get out of where they're in and bring Everton in or Leeds or whoever, but yeah, I mean, I was listening to the podcast you did the other day after the Leicester game, and a lot of it was like, I think a lot of people after the Watford game were like, oh, worried, but I've honestly, since Howe's come in, I've never thought we'd get relegated, and I don't think anyone will go back and I don't think anybody will go back and check extra time, but I at no point did I think, oh, we're knackered here. Like, I think there was far too many games to play and we'd improved too much. So I felt reasonably confident ever since Howe's come in, and I'm just absolutely delighted we're in the position that we're in now, and hopefully we can finish the season really strongly, and maybe look for 11th, possibly 10th. I don't know if the mathematics can work out that way, but I'm absolutely cock-a-hoop, Bonnie lad, cock-a-hoop.
I'll come to you, Scott. I've done a preview for the Norwich game, which is coming up just yesterday. I've done a preview, it's really hard doing a preview for a game, which is your second game coming up. But obviously we're Norwich's next fixture. This is obviously just shoot in from the Crystal Palace game. And one of the questions which was thrown my way is, now that Newcastle's is almost mathematically safe in the Premier League, do you think it'll be holiday mode for the players now?
That's a really tough one to answer. I don't think Howe would allow it. I don't think Howe's the sort of player that would be like, right, the sort of manager, sorry, that would be like, right, lads, good job. Put your feet up. I'll play the youngsters, or, I'll rest a few years. I mean, maybe he won't be as inclined to use Kieran Trippier or Callum Wilson if they're fit, because he's like, well, I'd rather you have the time off or, work on your fitness for next season when we're going to need yous. Maybe one or two players might go missing, in terms of their performances, because they have been grafting and maybe the intensity won't be there. But I certainly don't think we'll see a drastic change throughout the whole team. I think, if it's one or two, that'll get ironed out straight away. They'll either be dropped the next game, they'll be subbed off, and Howe will just get it out of them for the game after. Obviously, there isn't that many games left to play for that. But I don't think we'll see too much of it.
Yeah, well, my response to that, Scott, was you've got quite equal measure now between the new lads that came in January and the lads that have been at the club for God knows how long. And the reason I don't think there'll be holiday mode for any of those players is because there's a lot of them playing for their future at Newcastle United. And I'll come to you, Ian. We heard from John Joe Shelby today. He said that he's not thick. He knows that the club are going to go places, but he wants to be a part of this project for as long as possible. So that's just an incentive for them to keep on playing till right at the end of the season.
It is massive. And I think I was saying in the group chat today, sort of if you looked at his performance against Spurs when he got sent off, I said to my brother and my dad, I said if I was manager, he wouldn't play again for us just because his attitude. And it was obviously the first game under the new regime. You expected everyone to show what they can do, and he got sent off within minutes of coming on. But he's probably, out again, saying in the group chat, I think his improvement is a little bit, has went a little bit more unnoticed simply because of Joe Linton's improvement.
Yeah.
But his attitude, his performances and the consistency of his performances, you can quite clearly see that he's trying to prove a point. And I thought the interview that he gave, the things that he was saying, absolutely spot on. And that's what you want to see from your players.
Mm. Yeah, we'll go and we'll jump straight into the upcoming fixture against Palace. It's another home game, Roger. This will be our third home game on the bounce after that horrible run of fixtures which we had. We were playing away every single week. Looking for our 6th consecutive home win. That just sounds mental to say that.
Yeah. I mean, it's obviously been punctuated by those, like you say, those away games, and it's probably crept up in a lot of people, like thinking, God, Jesus, 5 home games. I mean, I don't remember the last time we won 5 home games. I'm sure one of you will be able to bring up that stat, but like,
we can beat the record, can't we? It's Sir Bobby Robson, I think, that had the 5 consecutive home wins, and if Eddie Howe gets this one, I'm sure that breaks the record.
I think it ties it with the Premier League. Ties it with Bobby Robson. I think the last time, I think it was March 2019. It might have been under Rafa. I think that's when the last time. But if we win tomorrow, it'll tie it with Bobby Robson. I think he's the only manager that's done it, possibly.
Yeah, I mean, I think the three games that we have. I mean, I probably would have took 4 points out of them realistically after that away run, but to be sitting on 6 already and not have a lot of pressure on a game where it could have been, there could have been a bit of a pressure atmosphere for a lot of fans. But I think going into the game feeling relatively relaxed, being absolutely massively buoyed by the fact that we scored a last minute winner, which always motivates the team even more. And just coming back really quickly to what you were saying about, dropping standards and things like that. I think also, the fact that we have got some good professionals at the club, and I just think there's not that hope anyway, that mentality, alongside the fact that Eddie Howe won't let it happen, hopefully. But I just think we have got a really good professional bunch in. I would like to see now that not mathematically safe, but I would like to see Dwight Gale have a game. I would like to see, give him a little run and see what he can do, because, he's not going to be here next year. And I know there's not really probably a lot of people won't want the sentimental side of it to come into it, but he has done well for in the past. And I think it's an opportunity to give him a few games, to give him hopefully to help him get a move as well at the end of the season. So I've totally forgot what your question was, but I'm just going to go back to it anyway. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the game, and I think we shouldn't underestimate Crystal Palace, although they've come off the back of a really difficult defeat for themselves against Chelsea, and they'll have Conor Gallagher back, who is a really good player in their midfield, and the type of player really I think we should be looking to sign rather than possibly get on loan next season. But he's the type of player that's really can push a midfield on. He's got so much energy. He's got a bit of guile. He's got a bit of, he's got graft. He's got guile. He's got all of these really good ingredients for a good midfielder. So I would absolutely take a draw, even though I think I might have predicted a few weeks ago. I predicted a draw, so I'm going to stick with a draw, I think. I'll take a
I
draw
love how
now.
you've got it wrote down from weeks ago.
Yeah, man.
Lovely.
We're not doing We're not doing too bad. We're on course for my. I've predicted we'll finish on 47 points. We're only 10 points away, so we'll take a draw.
Well, you'd probably take 10 points from the next run of fixtures. You really would until the end of the season. Of course,
yeah.
you're going to take 10 points from that. Scott, it seems like every time we do one of these previews, we'll look at the opposition and we'll say to you, I think, no, it all depends which side turns up. We said it about Leicester, we said it against Wolves, and once again, we're going to say about Crystal Palace. They do have players in there that can hurt you. I know they haven't been great away from home, Crystal Palace, and obviously coming to St James's Park, where Newcastle have been doing pretty well as of late, turning St James's Park into a fortress, and that's probably partially down to the atmosphere on the ground as well. So wall flags and fans in the stadium as well, because it's been loud in certain parts of that ground. Do you think Crystal Palace will be coming up here thinking this isn't going to go our way?
There's always that doubt in the back of your mind, especially when your away form hasn't been great. I think they've only won 3 away games all season. So, especially also after that defeat against Chelsea at Wembley, the players will be a bit downhearted. They're probably looking for a bounce. Vieira will probably want them to give their response to going out of the cup in this game. So we might get that. But like I say, St James's Park is a completely different beast to what they would have saw last season when they came. And I think certain players, you can't get under the skin, like Wilfried Zaha. I think if he doesn't get his own way early on, or a decision doesn't go his way, he spits his dummy out, and you see it throughout the entire game. And if the fans can get on his back early on, if that does happen, I think he takes him out of the game. I think his mind goes. I do think, obviously Palace do cause a massive threat, and they are a team. They're not in 13th for nothing. They are a good side. They've had a few, off and on results of late. I think it's 2 draws, 2 wins, and a defeat. So, like we said against Wolves and against Leicester, it does depend on who turns up, and it's really hard to predict with Palace. They're one of those sides that you don't expect them to be doing as well as maybe they do, and that's off the history. But the past couple of seasons, they've spent really well. They've brought in a good couple of youngsters, and they've got a good manager, and he's really got them playing a good song. So, I'm still confident of a win. I don't think it'll be high scoring, but I think just cut off Palace's away form alone, I think they'll come here with a bit of nervousness, seeing the actual atmosphere that's been on the telly. Hopefully War Flags have got another display. I saw something on Twitter just before we went live, some gold foil, so we'll see what's going on there. That should be pretty intimidating. And it all adds up, and I think that the crowd could play a big part in putting them off.
Iain, I'm just looking at Leicester's last game in the Premier League. They got beat 2-1 by Leicester, obviously team who we've just got a decent result against. You've got Zaha playing on the right hand side. It's going to be a decent night, that battle between Zaha and Target, you would imagine.
Yeah, I think Target the last 2 games has showed sort of the Target when we first signed him. His composure, he's class. He does the basics. He's just a very well-rounded Premier League player. Obviously had that little blip. Like saying that, everyone had the blip against Spurs. But yeah, I think I agree with Scott. I think Zaha's one of them just like shithouse players that you'd probably love him if he played for your club, but he's if you can wind him up, get under his skin, he does.
Decker would love him. Mark wouldn't love him.
But yeah, if he can wind him up to keep him quiet, but it will be an interesting battle. I quite like that Elise, is it as well? I think he's a young French lad. I think he's quite a quality player. Just looking at their midfield, again, I know football's not played on paper, but they don't seem to have the quality of what the likes of Wolves or Leicester have in their midfield, and I think we'll cope for the most part. We'll cope quite well. But then again, you talk about rather than looking at the opposition. Nowadays, we're looking at how well we're doing, and I think our midfield at the minute, especially Bruno with his 2 goals at the weekend, Joe Linton just being a world-class centre midfielder, and then obviously Shelby putting in the performances. It's not something I really worry about anymore. It's just a case of trying to get the best out of the likes of St. Maximum and Chris Wood, things like that. That you just need those little tweaks in your game. But yeah, I'm fairly confident with it, especially, like you say, it's a nighttime game at St. James's. The crowd's always up for it. You're on a really good run of home results.
Third game in a row where the crowd's probably smashed out their faces, to be
Yeah.
fair.
Wait, I'm on a week's holiday from work. I've got the little one, but he's going to have a sleepover with his cousin, so I'll probably be one of them. But yeah, it's got the makings for a good atmosphere and hopefully another 3 points.
So Roger, you can get your little book back out there, mate. Your little notepad back out. You can change your mind, but give us a score prediction for this one, mate.
I'm gonna stick with a draw. I think it might be 2-2. I've got a feeling we're gonna get an Archbishop Desmond. I just think Palace are a good side. Like, we've played two good sides and we've beaten them, and I think it might.
Is he gone?
I think he's
gone.
No, he's back. He's back. Sorry, mate. You disappeared for a second there. You just froze at the moment.
Oh, mate, I'm having a nightmare with me connection. I do apologise. No, I think I'm going to go 2-2. Hopefully you might have got that bit before. But I think Palace they're a good side. We've played two good sides and we've got two really excellent results. And I think just this one might be a bit of a stretch after the emotion and the feeling of Sunday. And also I think there's, I don't know whether it was Scott or Iain who was talking about, Palace are going to be off the back of, they're going to be disappointed after theirs. Their defeat, and they're going to be motivated, I think, to get a good result. I think
Palace,
it's all
Palace fans will probably be looking at this game and thinking this could be a good little run starting from the Newcastle game, because after ourselves they've got Leeds, Southampton, Watford, Villa, Everton, then Man United twice. By the looks of it, they've got Man United last game of the season, and it looks like they've got another one to fit in there as well.
Right.
They could probably be looking at that and thinking, we've got a decent opportunity here to go on a little bit of a run.
Yeah. I think they would come and be happy with a draw, but I just think, like you were saying, like they do have players that are going to threaten you. Zaha going forward, Gallagher going forward from midfield. I just think they've got the play. I mean, although like the 13th, and where are we 14th now?
I think I think we'll leapfrog them if we win.
And by all accounts, they've had a really good season. So it just puts into context. I know everybody knows the context of where Newcastle have come from since Eddie Howe's come in, and it just really shows how an amazing job Eddie Howe's done to get us to a position where a team who, supposedly have had a really good season, they've had a good FA Cup run, they've got a good manager, and we're potentially going to take over them. So I think if we look at our next games, obviously we've got Norwich at the weekend, which, I think we should beat Norwich. But then we've got like Liverpool, City, Arsenal and Burnley. The three games after that Norwich game. Are we going to be looking to get many points from those games? Possibly not. Although I do think we're going to have
could have a say in the title race.
I do. Well, I did think that we're going to draw. I think we're going to draw with Liverpool and lose to Man City, and I think that would be ironic, given that the Liverpool encounters in the past with Newcastle when we were on a title charge, they kind of derailed us. So, and for that game against Liverpool, I think it was when Fabinho got a free kick. There was never a free kick. So
Matt Ritchie.
We absolutely owe Liverpool. I know this isn't a Liverpool preview, so I'll shut up in a minute. But we absolutely owe Liverpool a game. We do owe them a game. So, yeah, I'm going to go.
You're going 2-2.
2-2, Palace, Newcastle.
Okay. I'm looking at the Premier League table there, just with you mentioned it there, Roger, and I'll come to you, Scott. Newcastle sat on equal points with Crystal Palace right now. Crystal Palace do have a game in hand, mind, because obviously how far they went in the cup. But that's a huge incentive for Eddie Howe and the lads thinking, we can leapfrog these. We can go 3 points ahead of these, and depend on the rest of the results. Yeah, to be fair, you're looking at top 10.
Yeah, I mean, goal difference aside, you'd probably say you'd get 11th if the results go away from everyone else. I think Brighton, they're on -8, so we'd have to beat Palace 10-0 to get
Easy.
to equal to them. So easy.
Easy.
But no, absolutely. And like you were talking earlier about players going on holiday, the other thing that's been brought up quite a lot recently, which we haven't heard spoke about much, is financial fair play. And this new UEFA rule of you can only spend 90% of your revenue, a higher league position ups that revenue, means we've got more money to spend. So, you know, I don't know what the difference in prize money is between 14th and 11th, but I tell you, it's probably worth it, and it's worth going for. And also, I think there's a statement to be made. You know, everyone wrote us off in December. Everybody was like, well, Newcastle are dead and buried. No one's going to save them. And look at we're now looking sitting in 14th with the potential, like you say, top half finish. I don't particularly want a top half finish, because that then means that Eddie Howe's got to try and better that next season. And I think the way we're going to build, it might be next season top half, then build on top of that and go a bit higher. But yeah, I think, you know, it's a great incentive for the lads to be like, look, we can get 11th here. What a statement does that make to the rest of the league to say we're back and we're, you know, this is the start of something huge. And you look at those.
No, that team has done it either.
No.
From the position that we were in, no winning 14, I think it was at the start of the season. Not a single Premier League team has managed to survive on the back of that.
And if anyone would survive anywhere close to that, you'd be looking at them finishing in 17th and just sneaking out that relegation zone. Yeah. We've stormed out of it, and we've overtook a lot of teams who, you know, you look at their squads and you think, you know, they're not bad teams. They're just not gelling. Everton, Leeds, and Villa, they've got some players that I would have for Newcastle tomorrow. You know, so it's nice to see. And even with Palace, Southampton, you look at their players. Yeah, I mean, I think we've got better players in certain parts of the field than any of those teams, and obviously they've got some in some other areas. So higher league position for us just means we can strengthen on those areas, and next season come at them swinging. I
mean, like Eddie Howe is just, and that's like, he's done a ridiculously good job. Like nobody, like I have been fairly optimistic about staying up, etc. But like nobody could have predicted how this season could have turned out. Like, it's absolutely crazy what he's done. It is crazy. And like, yes, we spent money, but everybody spends money. That's just the way the world works. You know, a lot of teams, they spend that money at the start of the season. We just happen to spend it halfway through. And it's just like, at the end of this season, it would be really interesting if, you know, the club are doing a lot more media and putting a lot more stuff out on social media and putting a lot more content on NUFC TV, whether they do like a sit down with Eddie Howe of like, where he has the ability to reflect on the season, because like, surely even he, as confident as he came across when he first came in and he did all these interviews and he was talking about the players who we already have and how he wants to improve them, and he gave them all dossiers on where they play well and what they do well and what they can improve. And it would be really, really fascinating to hear, like, honestly, how he reflects on this season, because I've never seen anything like it. It's absolutely ridiculous what this man's done. And I'm so excited for next season.
There was something on Twitter today as well, that if the season had started the day Eddie Howe took over, we'd be sitting in 7th, given all the other results, and then wiping off obviously what came beforehand. We'll be in 7th place. And then obviously the other one is from January, we're in 2nd.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
So Scott,
it really is unbelievable.
Give us your match prediction, mate. What scoreline are you going for?
So like I said earlier, I don't think it'll be very high scoring. Palace don't score many away, and I'm hoping they don't score any away tomorrow, and I'm going for a 1-0 win. I think we'll score early.
Go on, Scott.
Maybe it's in the 30th minute, 35th minute. they seem to concede around that time. It seems like the first half, they really kind of drop off a bit, and then they pick it up near the end. But yeah, I'm reckoning 30-35 minutes we'll get a goal.
30-35. Can you be a bit more specific, Scott? I don't like this 30-35.
32 minutes and 40 seconds.
Okay.
And what colour boots are going to score the goal, mate? You might as well throw that one in.
Yeah, man.
I don't know what colour boots Joe Linton scores, but he's well due a goal, so we'll give it to him.
Ian, coming across to you, mate. Give us your prediction.
I've got to give you two. So obviously, because last preview was in the Ben's bedroom, not my bedroom.
Yeah, so if people haven't watched the last one, Ian was in his bedroom. This isn't his bedroom where he is right now.
Are you back in the caravan?
Back in the caravan tonight.
I'm not even going to say anything anymore. He's really upset. Should I tell you what there is? I was looking at the comments. There was a really nice comment. I can't remember who it was, but he went, if someone wants to sleep with a teddy bear, then let them. There's nothing wrong with that. I thought, what a nice chap. Aww. Regardless, I don't sleep with teddy bears. But the little in, I've got him this week, and he's been going Bruno mad in the garden, trying to do his celebrations, taking 5 minutes to get his top off with his headers. But he reckons it's going to be 3-1, and he reckons Bruno's going to score in the last second again. Bruno. I'm going to go more conservative, and I'm going to try and. I don't know if it's just a bit of a coincidence, but me and Scott both said 2-1. We thought we'd sneak a 2-1 against Leicester, so I'm going to stick with Scott's prediction. I genuinely think 1-0 as well. I think it'll be low scoring, but again, another well drilled defensive display. And I'm going to go with. I said this last time. He had an absolute nightmare. I'm going to go with St. Maximum because he's due a goal. But again, I thought he was very, very poor against Leicester. So I've got nothing to base that on.
He had an absolute stinker, a real stinker. But the good thing, he still
wanted to get involved, which is what you were saying on Monday.
You saw the best and the worst of seeing that game. I think.
He doesn't hide.
I just feel he was trying a bit too hard.
Yeah.
To if something didn't come off. But no, I'm hoping, as much as he does frustrate us, and I'm not his biggest fan at the minute. I do hope he turns it around, because you can see the class that he does have. He just needs to do it more consistently. But I'm going 1-0.
Do you think there'll be any changes? Do you think, given that the games are coming quite quickly after each other?
I don't think you'll see any changes unless the force changes until we have that guaranteed safety. And that's when you might see a few changes. Like you said, Dwight Gale, if we get 3 points against Palace, I wouldn't be shocked to see Dwight Gale up against Norwich in the following game. I wouldn't be shocked. He's got
previous against Norwich as well. So
yeah, I really wouldn't be shocked, because Kris would have started every single game since he came in. That is right, isn't it? I don't think he's been missing out of that team.
No, he's played every game. Yeah.
And he's done well. Maybe it's about time to give him a bit of a break. Let him get his feet up. Obviously, he's been around all over the world as well, scoring for New Zealand international duty. If we get 3 points against Palace, then give him a bit of a break. Bring Dwight Gale into that striking lineup. My prediction, I'm going to be quite reserved on this one. I'm going to say the same prediction as what I said against Leicester. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. And once again, I think you take it now. And I feel as if I say this on every match prediction, but if you're getting any sort of point against teams in decent form in regards to how well they've performed overall in the season, I know Palace have started to drop down the league, but they've been a decent team throughout. Patrick Vieira's name's even coming up for manager of the season nominations as well. So I take a 1-1 draw all day long, but there's something inside of us that thinks, don't be surprised if you nick it again.
Yeah,
just
we're in a bit of a groove, aren't we?
You've got the quality, that you've got players that look how quick that happened against Leicester. It's Leicester on the attack, then just a flick of a switch, and we're on the attack and score that goal, and that can happen at any point throughout the game with the quality of the players that we have and the confidence that the players have.
Yeah.
So honestly, I'd be shocked if we are on the end of a defeat. I would be shocked.
Yeah.
But any other result, you take it.
I think just going back to the previews that we did just before we had the 3 home games in a row, I think pretty much everyone was saying that the hope that they would have expected for about 4 points out of the 3 home games. and to get 6 from 6 points, it would feel almost anticlimactic if you didn't do the 3. That was a big word, wasn't it, for someone from Wallsend?
That was a great word.
No idea what it means, Roger, but it sounded good.
It basically encapsulates my teenage years' sexual experiences.
Wow.
Didn't know where you were going with that, but
Yep.
but yeah, it would be a bit of an anticlimax if you didn't get another win. And I think again the crowd will play the part. You said there yourself, Kris. We do have good quality players, and the confidence that they're exuding. There's another big word for you.
Wow.
I know.
Who swallowed a dictionary? Stars. Stammer on your grammar there. Go on, Bonnie lad.
Yeah, I think we've got enough to get the 3 points. I genuinely hope that's the case, because obviously I'm there tomorrow night, so it'll be great to see you win.
And if we don't, we'll blame you.
Exactly.
Yep. And speaking of good grammar, looking at my list here, our last games are City Arseburn.
City Arseburn.
So there you go, a little bit of City Arseburn for you.
On that note, I think we'll wrap it up on the City Arseburn. Thanks, boys. Been a pleasure. Fingers crossed we can make it 6. I think Eddie Howe deserves it. Get him to that 6. Get mathematically safety. I'm not sure we can do it in this game, but who cares? It's just, I think we're safe now. I honestly think we're safe now. But it's more points on the board.
We are absolutely safe. Don't even let any negative thoughts enter your mind. We're absolutely safe. And stay tuned for extra time this week. Back with a bang.
Oh, we're back this week, are we? We're back this week.
We'll be back this week. Aye.
When we're doing that Friday.
Iain doesn't even know. We're back this week.
I'll text you a Thursday at 6 o'clock and tell you what the crack is. But congratulations to Scott, who won the last Hall of Fame a couple of weeks ago. It was April Fool's, which seems like 19 days ago, and he won with joking his entire existence at Newcastle United. So, well done, Scott. I don't actually think I've won anything in the Hall of Fame yet. Possibly.
Did you not joint win with local lads with me?
Yeah, that's not a win though.
That is not a win. That is not a win.
Rubbing shoulders with me is a win.
That is definitely.
I'll take rubbing shoulders with you, but that's not a win.
As long as that's all you're rubbing.
But yeah, you can see most like these 3 on extra time. Most likely it'll be Friday this week, Roger. I'm guessing.
Probably aye.
We'll find out. You will see things on social media, on the Gallowgateshots Twitter and Roger's Twitter of any announcement for extra time, which is a live show as well, so you can interact in the comments with everyone.
Is this live or not?
This is not live, mate.
Oh, it's recorded, is it? I wondered why there was no comments up that side.
Do you think you want extra time again? Thanks, everybody. See you later.
You.